your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Grand Bahama Humane Society bidding farewell to a few furry friends today through a program started years ago intended to give abandoned animals in Grand Bahama a better way of life. As Ramiko Knowles tells us, some 35 dogs were flown to the United States to be welcomed by their new owners.
Well, if it were not for the Grand Bahama Humane Society, the streets of Grand Bahama would be filled with abandoned animals. Today, 35 of those dogs that were housed at the Humane Society are headed to the Big Apple, New York City, for better care and a better life.
This provides a much-needed relief at the shelter. We're over full.
It is being dubbed as Operation Puppy Lift, and the executive director of the Humane Society, Tip Burrows, says they are grateful to everyone that made it possible.
They're going to Long Island, New York. They're going to three different rescues in New York that we have worked with in the past. We just haven't been able to find a way to get them there the last couple of years, but thanks to Wings of Rescue, they're taking the private plane straight up to New York after they clear customs in South Florida. So they're going to Long Island to ARF of the Hamptons, Kent Animal Shelter, also on Long Island, and Bidewee Shelter, which is actually in New York City.
From the time the dogs arrive at the Humane Society until they depart, staffers treat them with love and care. Each dog receives a name and is considered a member of their family.
That's what we're all about. They can't speak for themselves. They didn't ask to be born. They didn't ask to be abandoned or dumped or mistreated or just plain unwanted. So, the Humane Society's mission is to alleviate animal suffering and, try to find as many as we can loving homes. So we just take in too many to possibly find them homes locally. So, this is a way to save lives that we couldn't otherwise save.
President of the Humane Society of Grand Bahama, Joe Darville, thanking the Grand Bahama Port Authority for their assistance over the years. In addition, he also salutes the government of the Bahamas.
For the first time this present year, the Bahamas government has kicked in and began to support the work that we do at the Humane Society here, similar to what they do in Nassau, which has been long overdue. So I appreciate that, and I want to say that has helped us tremendously in being able to carry on the work that we do.
He says the Bahamas is fortunate because of the fact that people around the world love the animals that Bahamians often neglect.
People love our putt cakes. I mean, they adore them, even to the extent that in Colorado, for example, in Denver, they have a putt cake celebration day every year. And now these animals that are going out today, going all the way to Long Island, New York. And so our puppies, our dogs, our putt cakes have become world famous.
They are asking for continued support as they continue the work post-Dorian and during the global pandemic. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
And now our Jay Philippe has a check on sports.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. NCAA basketball is returning to the island of Bimini in just a matter of weeks. Some of the top women's teams will be competing at the Gateway Christian Academy Gymnasium during Thanksgiving week. We caught up with event coordinator Sean McShane, who gave us this update.
Listen, this year we're super excited to be recovering off a pandemic year to bring in the University of North Carolina Tar Heels, Virginia Commonwealth University, and all the way from Seattle, Washington, the University of Washington Huskies. This event has had an enormous impact on the island of Bimini the last 6 years, but certainly the 14 years before that when we were on Grand Bahama Island. People remember us under the title of the Junkanoo Jam. But this year we have renamed it the Goombay Splash. We've got big expectations. Even though we might be a little bit smaller in numbers, it's still going to have a huge impact on the island of Bimini. The local businesses and all the wonderful people that reside there and that welcome us. And certainly, I couldn't say enough great things about our awesome partners at Gateway Christian Academy that without them, this event wouldn't be possible. So, Jay, we are excited to be back in the Northern Bahamas in just a couple of weeks for the 2021 Goombay Splash NCAA Elite Division I Women's Basketball Tournament.
Switching gears now, Grand Bahamas produced some of the very top tennis players in the Bahamas over the years. Veteran coach Danny Rigby believes that tennis is a growing sport here on the island, but says that more emphasis needs to be put on proper facilities.
What we need is facilities. That's one of the most important things. We need facilities. We don't have enough facilities. Like, there's court at the Y and then there's court right here. But then, for example, my court is all the way up Grand Bahama Tennis and Grand Bahama Sailing Club, which is far away. So it's hard for you to get the program. What we need is just facilities. If we get facilities, then we sure will get more tennis going.
And finally in sports, Grand Bahamian Franco Miller Jr. and his Florida Gulf Coast University team will kick off their season tonight in the Sunshine State against Florida National. Miller is entering his junior year for the Eagles. Last year he played in 15 games with 6 starts while averaging 17.9 minutes, posted 5.7 points per game along with 2.7 rebounds, 2.8 assists and 1.1 steals per game. And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.